I understand that you may not agree with them. I'm not sure on what basis you can say that you know more, but no Environment Minister could, against the federal law as it is now, have come to any other conclusion, because I didn't go back just once. I went back twice with additional questions for the Independent Expert Scientific Committee. I met with that committee. We incorporated every one of their requests into the conditions because, of course, the conditions are not quoted by others. We actually expressly incorporated the conditions as a basis for any further action, and that's what you should do.
Well,
Greg Hunt,
I just think you're taking
a minister should do.
Greg Hunt, you're taking a tiger by the tail. There is massive public opposition to this. 8,000 acres and a pit 300 metres deep. You are not going to sell this. You are not going to sell it.
I should have ignored the scientific reports, ignored the legal advice, ignored the departmental advice, and had a decision knowingly and wilfully set down in such a way as it would have been overturned by the courts, and the 18 conditions, which are probably the strictest in Australian history, stripped away, because that's what would have happened had I ignored the science, the law, the departmental and the administrative advice.
We'll have to agree to disagree. Having read some of those scientific reports, I can't agree to that. I want to move on. I'm getting asked to wind up. No,
before you go, I have a question for you.
Yes, I've read ANC.
Any of the 18 federal conditions?
But I've also read the other reports that.
No, that's the scientific report.
You asked the question. The answer is yes. I've read the conditions.
But you haven't read the 18 federal conditions, have you?
I have. I've actually been through them, but the problem you've got is...
one of the federal conditions?
I don't have to name any, mate. The problem you've got is, and I've got to leave this now. No, I have, but we can't debate it now. I wanted to do what I promised I'd do to you, and that is give you the opportunity to comment on the energy targets. And so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Greg. If this is going to be our debate, I'll have you back on next week and we'll do it again, and I'll go through every condition with you. I'm happy to do that, because as long as I can go through not just those, but the questions where that committee said to you the answers weren't good enough.
You've been a little embarrassed because you haven't read any of the conditions.
If you think this is an embarrassment, you've got to be joking. I had a look at this stuff about 3 weeks ago. And I'll tell you something now. I've just read now. I've just been sitting there now reading some of it, and I'm telling you, it doesn't add up. And that's why I'm having this debate. But anyway, we've now missed the opportunity to talk about renewable energy targets.
For a second.
No, we can't. We are going to stop. That's the problem.
You've got the overview of the committee which says go ahead. Secondly, they then raise some additional questions.
And you've covered them in the conditions.
Thirdly, we then expressly incorporate every one of those questions in conditions which are fundamental, and if they're not
there's no good. There's no good if this is what you're about. If you're saying that covering some of these water matters after the thing started, what's the good of that? What if it's wrong?
No.
What if things are bad? It's hopeless to do it later, and that's one of the problems we've got.
You haven't read the conditions because. The conditions, the fundamental conditions.
I wish you'd read the answers that the committee gave you. They are your questions, and you've ignored their answers.
I read each and every one in detail.
Well, you've ignored their answers. That's half the problem. I mean, you reckon I have it? You have totally ignored their answers. And look, I have to leave it because we're now over time. And I wanted to talk to you about renewable energy targets. I wanted to talk to you about carbon taxes, but we haven't got time now. But we shall return, and we'll do it again. Now,
one very important thing is everything that you have said about the conditions has been incorrect, and it's very important that we leave your listeners with the truth, and that is each of the questions raised has been expressly incorporated as a matter of law. The mine cannot proceed unless and until those fundamental questions in Conditions 5, Condition 6, Condition 7
But when you get to the stage where the committee says there's not enough work being done to answer some of the questions, how can you then incorporate work that hasn't been done in your conditions? You obviously can't. It's impossible. As a matter of logic, you can't do it.
The condition is that work has to be done before it can proceed. Conditions 5, Condition 6, Condition 7.
Well,
that is
I tell you what, I just hope that the succour and comfort that you have given the New South Wales government in this doesn't make them approve it, because in the end this is making all of you look silly. And I don't understand why you've got to hang on to it as if it's some goal that you must achieve. This is something Australia doesn't want. And we haven't even got to talking about...
has to administer the law.
All right, look, I have to leave it.
A Minister of the Crown has to administer the law.
Of course a Minister of the Crown does, but I tell you what a Minister of the Crown can do. A Minister of the Crown can have a go. A Minister of the Crown can really get stuck into something when a Minister of the Crown smells something that mightn't be right. And the smell here is everywhere. Everyone is holding their nose, bar you. But I've got to leave it, Greg. I'm getting too many wind-ups.
Well, absolutely not untrue.
Well, I know...
Absolutely. No, I will not let you finish on that note, Graham. I think it's very important that you don't say something like that. It was brought in by New South Wales Labor, passed by New South Wales
That's
Liberal.
got nothing to do with it. The New South Wales Labor government was hopeless. It was a shocking government, and New South Wales threw it out
was taken by the federal government on the basis of 6 scientific reports.
Right, on the basis of 6 scientific reports in which all the questions are not answered, I have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. We've got to cut. We have to cut.
Legal advice.
He's gone. I'm exhausted. We'll be back in just a moment with Tony Burke.